Hello my friends, this batch of free VR games is really special because all of them are local multiplayer on one PC. Also called asymmetrical multiplayer, with one player in VR and one or more using the monitor on the same PC, either in co-op or against each other. There's some really fun games in here. Let's get started. Aerospace security training is exactly what it sounds like. It's a 1 versus 1 game about airport security. The player in VR is trying to sneak illegal items into luggage, while the player on the PC, using a mouse, is viewing X-rays of the luggage. There's a list of illegal items presented to both players, which is changing throughout the game. The inspector needs to quickly approve or deny the luggage, so the VR player needs to get creative with hiding the illegal items behind or inside other items to pass security. The VR player scores points for every illegal item that passes, and the inspector can only win points for every illegal item they find. Give this game a shot to try and deceive your friends. In Bots and Burgers, there's an intergalactic race for hamburger ingredients. It's a cooperative game where the VR player is a robot living inside the game, and the PC player, using a keyboard and mouse, is an observer at a control board trying to assist the VR player. There's 3 levels of puzzle obstacle courses. At the end of each level, you get a new hamburger ingredient. The observer player on the PC changes their view by selecting security cameras in the bottom right of the screen. Above those icons in the camera view, they can use their mouse to sometimes summon objects, like a ladder for the VR player to climb. On the left side, the observer can summon other tools for the VR player, like a bomb, to break through doors. This is a fun and quirky cooperative game where communication between the 2 players is key. CtrlShift Demo is a 2-player co-op game. The VR player is the spy, physically sneaking through the environment. The PC player with a keyboard uses a command line interface to play the role of the hacker, typing in commands to hack the environment and help the spy. The spy needs to get to the computer mainframe, but there are guards patrolling all throughout the level, so the spy needs to hide behind objects to avoid being seen. One nice touch is that if you're crouching, you can't teleport very far, so the physicality of sneaking becomes tactical and challenging. The hacker sees a map view, which will be necessary to help the spy go the right way and avoid danger. The spy can't open any doors, only the hacker can open doors. The hacker also has the ability to disable guards for a limited time. The gotcha is that the hacker needs to know the unique names of the guards and doors. That's when the spy needs to inform the hacker the unique ID of everything to execute commands. This game feels like a co-op version of Budget Cuts. My wife and I had a lot of fun playing this, and it's our personal favorite on this list. Sommad, or Sommad, has 1 player in VR walking through a maze, and any number of people on the PC side helping that player inside the maze. And the way this works is that on the PC screen, any number of people can see the entire maze the VR person is walking through, and so they can guide and assist the VR player to get to the end of the maze. This is a great party game for VR newcomers because I think that walking in VR is both intuitive and one of the most powerful qualities of this new medium. In Panoptic Demo, 1 person plays in VR as the giant overseer character, and 1 person on the PC, using either keyboard and mouse or gamepad, is a tiny citizen trying to blend in the crowd. The overseer is scanning a crowd of miniature characters, and if the overseer can spot the true PC player and zap them, they win the game. For a free VR one-on-one game, it's a great little gem. Epochalyptic is a very similar game to Panoptic Demo, but not as polished. The PC player is trying to blend in with a crowd of white cylinders. If they can hit the 3 switches to open the 3 fiery gates, then they can escape and win the game. The VR player, armed with a bow and arrow, is trying to find and kill the PC player. One bonus is that if you do kill the PC player, you get a very satisfying explosion. HangoVR is a fast-paced collaborative party game. You wake up at your friend's place after a crazy party and it's a huge mess. Unfortunately, your friend's parents are coming home in a few minutes, so all of you have to work together to fix the place. The VR player is responsible for cleaning everything up, while one or more people on the PC look at photos of the room that show where everything should go. It's a short game, but really creative and fun. I think this would really thrive at a VR party, where people keep taking turns at cleaning up the room. I Can Gun can be played as a single-player game or as an asymmetrical multiplayer game. It's a shooting game that pits you against evil gun turrets. You're armed with a single gun that feels quite realistic. You have to manually discharge and load magazines. You can turn the safety on and off, and even load individual bullets into magazines. The gun turrets show no mercy and kill you very quickly. So you need to be extra aware and sneaky if you hope to survive. It's very challenging and surprisingly addicting. The asynchronous multiplayer allows a team of 2, where one person plays in VR and another playing on the PC with keyboard and mouse. Team up against the evil bots, or just shoot each other. Either way. Goalie Challenge VR is another free game. The second player on the PC with a gamepad is a hockey player trying to score past the goalie. It's obviously not a deep game, but for a casual one-on-one game, there's plenty of fun to be had here with friends. Waltz of the Wizard is a fantastic single-player VR game, but it features a small asymmetrical mode with a second player on mouse and keyboard. The second player takes control of a flaming skull that can float around and shoot at the wizard player. So as far as multiplayer goes, there isn't much to it, but it's a fantastic single-player game, and the fact that it has this small asymmetrical mode inside is pretty cool, especially for a free game. Nemesis Perspective is a frantic David vs. Goliath game. The VR player is a giant monster, and the second player on the PC using a gamepad is a tiny person. The monster VR player is trying to slap, squish, and kill the tiny player, but the tiny player is fast and has superpowers. In my opinion, this is one of the best looking and polished games on this list. It's a must play. Jack and the Batteries is a cat and mouse 1 vs. 1 game. The PC player, using a keyboard and mouse, plays a tiny astronaut who is stranded in a giant's house. The astronaut's goal is to collect all 3 batteries in the house and return to their ship while avoiding attacks from the giant and the random cats running around. The VR player plays as the giant, with an endless supply of Pokeballs and a paintbrush at their disposal. To move, they need to paint a Pokeball and throw it to teleport to that location. A regular unpainted Pokeball is what they use to attack the tiny astronaut. It's an odd little game, but it provides some frantic and wacky fun. Nova Swarm is a space battle game with 1 player in VR and up to 4 people playing on the PC using gamepads. You can also fill in with AI bots instead of other players. It's pretty straightforward. The VR player has the main ship in the middle of the arena, and the 4 other players are trying to destroy the VR player. The PC player ships are invisible unless they're attacking. There's actually a lot beneath the surface of this game. Multiple weapons, power-ups, defense modes, and rules. All of the detailed info is available at the game's website below. This is a fantastic game for a group of friends at your next VR party. Space Security Guard Simulator is a 1 vs. 4 combat strategy challenge. The VR player is a security officer in a spaceship. The PC players with gamepads are monsters trying to hunt down the security officer. The monster players see a top-down view of the map. The VR player is on the ground level. Arm-swinging locomotion is the method of movement for the VR player. The winning conditions for the VR player are actually quite complex, with lots of sequential steps to escape the ship. So like the previous game, I recommend you read the details on the game's webpage that I link to below. So to play this really requires reading the manual, but if you have the patience, this is a fun group game. Flatland VR is a co-op maze game, with the PC player using a gamepad. The player on the PC is a flat hexagon living in a maze. The hexagon player must retrieve the prize in the middle and then escape the maze. But there are evil red triangles trying to kill the hexagon player. So the VR player grabs a cube and a sphere to use like boxing gloves to stamp out and kill the triangles. But the VR player has to watch out for floating enemies that are coming for them as well. It's a strange but enjoyable multiplayer game. Also, you should know that you'll need a wide room scale for the VR player to reach all of the maze. Sophie's Guardian is a wave shooter with a creative story behind it. You're a teddy bear and your owner has vanished, so it's up to you to shoot and kill all the possessed dolls that approach you. You stand in one place while the dolls walk toward you. To be honest, the single player is a little boring. But if you choose Puppeteer mode, then you play an asymmetrical game with your friend on the PC spawning the evil dolls that attack you. And playing this way is a lot more fun. Spectral Pursuit is a Ghostbusters type game with the VR player as an exorcist and the PC player on keyboard and mouse playing the ghost. The goal of the ghost is to brew a potion with ingredients scattered all over the mansion to win the game. Possess the objects and bring them over to cauldrons and drop them in to brew the potion. The ghost can move through walls or teleport via special paintings on the walls. The exorcist is trying to find and catch the ghost. They can block the teleportation paintings and also release the ghost from possessed objects. It's a great little one-on-one game. Tabletop Defense is a straightforward tower defense game. The VR player is the primary builder of turrets, while the PC player with the gamepad is a miniature player attacking the oncoming forces. Besides building turrets, the VR player can also become miniature on the tower to shoot at the enemy mechs marching through to assist the PC player. There's a single player campaign in this game as well, so co-op isn't required, but the co-op capability makes this game extra fun. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. See ya!